There we go. What's up, y'all? John Melton coming to you live with another episode of Money Monday. And I have not one, but two special guests. I've got Lauren, who you're going to hear from today, Lauren Gallegos. She is crushing it. TikTok, Facebook. You know what's funny? I keep saying 500,000 followers, but really you have 1 million. Two different platforms.
Add it up.
500,000, and I'm sure you're on the other ones as well. But just between those two, at first we were going to talk TikTok and how you have 500,000 followers, and then like just the other day you surpassed 500,000 on Facebook. I think I saw. Now you're probably even higher than this. But I looked at your account like maybe an hour and a half ago, and you were at like 508,000 on Facebook. So guys, just imagine having 8,000 new followers in a day. It's insane. So with that being said, my other special guest, who you're not going to see a lot, but this is Brady. A lot of you have been asking. This is our little puppy. He's been very chill the last like hour or so. So hopefully he'll continue being chill. If not, I may have to get Nadia involved because sometimes he gets very hyper and bitey. But anyway, I'm excited. Let me know in the comments where you're coming in from. If you're a live viewer, a replay viewer, say hi to Lauren. Listen, our whole goal is to help you go from average to savage in your business. And how many of us would probably do better in our business if we had that much influence? Now, Lauren didn't start like that. It took her a while to build up her value, her credibility, her brand, her following, figure out her niche. As you hear some of these experts talk about, you got to know your niche. You got to know your avatar. You got to know your lifer. That takes time. But Lauren cracked that code. And you know, I think it was like maybe a week ago, Lauren, you were like, I'm going to start recruiting, right? It's like a week ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago, but like a week ago, you really started recruiting. How many people did you recruit since you decided to start enrolling partners just in the last week? Is it 8?
The last, it's about eight or nine. I think I'm around 8 or 9.
So just imagine how many of us would love to be like, I think I'm going to start recruiting and just recruit like 8 or 9 people in a week. So this is what's possible if you build a valuable brand, you build influence, you build up your credibility. You're not always just selling your MLM product like an infomercial. Like when I watch Lauren, she's talking about all kinds of things, whether it's, you know, holistic, and I'm going to have you tell your story, obviously, right? But like she talks about like holistic options for, you know, weight loss, or I think I saw you talking recently about like electrolytes or Celtic salt, right? Stuff like that. Like the point is you find out what your niche is by creating the content, and Lauren cracked that code and went, and it's so exciting too, because she wasn't really recruiting or team building, but she had a big customer base. Right? She was selling on TikTok Shop. She had all these ways of monetizing, and then she started building a community. So I can't wait for you to hear her journey, her story, and some great tips and advice so that you don't need 500,000 followers to be successful, but even if you just had 5,000 followers, right? How many of us would agree that's better than the 400 you have now? And let's also point out that we all start somewhere. We all start at suck, but the truth is, I do videos like this, I do interviews like this, so you can try to speed up the process, so you can reduce the learning curve and learn from Lauren, but don't just get excited and hear what she's saying. I want you to implement. So take some notes, get excited, tell your face, tag some teammates in the comments, and this is a generic conversation. So it doesn't matter what you're selling, lotions, potions, pills, water filters, skincare, cleaning products, knives, bowls, beads, pots, pans, jewelry, travel service, legal service, energy deregulation, solar, life insurance, doesn't matter. If you could use some leads for your business and you'd like to convert some sales online, you should probably tune in and take some notes. So Lauren, what's up? Thank you for tuning in today. I appreciate your availability and excited to have you on.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thank you. You know, talking to you right now reminds me of this time last year. Actually, it's been less than a year. It was June of last year. I was at a leader conference, and I had under 1,000 followers on TikTok. I had under 1,000 followers on Facebook. This was less than a year ago. And I remember saying to myself, you know what? I'm going to go live every single day I'm going to do some type of follow train on TikTok because I want to be able to go live on TikTok. At the time, to be able to go live on TikTok, you had to have like 1,000 followers. And I was like just under 1,000, right? So it's been less than a year. And I'm just like thinking of my journey within the past year right now, how I've grown from under 1,000 followers on Facebook and TikTok to over 500,000. And wow, it's been a journey, number one. And that's where it started.
Can you say that? Can you say that one part again though? You said you did a follow train.
Yeah.
So that's how you like, I mean, that's not how you built your following, but in the beginning you were like, I'm just going to follow a bunch of people that'll hopefully follow me back.
Yes.
Follow train. That's so funny.
Follow me and I'll follow you back.
Yeah, that's great. But that was, so you had less than 1,000 on
Yeah.
Facebook and TikTok.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you went from, let's just say 2,000 between the two to 1 million in a year.
Yeah.
That is insane. Okay.
Yeah.
So congratulations. I just wanted to clarify that though. So you're sitting at a leader conference and you decided, I'm going to go live every day.
Yeah.
Just like that.
I knew the power of lives.
Right.
I was with one of my besties. Her name is Ashley. And she was just killing it in the business. She's still killing it in the business. And I'm like, what do you do? I had just met Ashley. Now we're like besties. Yeah. I just met her at Leader Conference. She was at that event. That's where I met her.
That's where you met her. Oh my God.
Yes. And we're going together. We're actually driving together next month to the next one.
Love it.
As besties now. So I'm like, what do you do? What do you do? And she's like, I go live every day. It's like, really? It's like, I'm going to go live every day. And I'm like, I saw her success. I saw what she was doing. She actually did a live with you and I was watching before Leader Conference. I'm like, I'm going to do what that girl's doing. I met her there and I was like, I'm going to start going live. I know the power of connection, the power of going live, the power of creating these relationships and people seeing me. So I was like, well, I started going live and I went live every single day. And I have been for that past year. I've never stopped. I go live every single day.
7 days a week?
7 days a week. Sometimes I'll take off on a Sunday, but other than that, generally I still go live every day. Every day.
What time?
7 a.m. I usually have a time my followers know. 7 a.m. before I bring my kids to school. 7 a.m.
You conditioned your audience. They expect it now every day. Love it.
Yeah.
How long are your videos?
Usually 30 minutes. Usually my lives are about 30 minutes.
3 devices or 2?
I use 2.
So just TikTok and Facebook. You haven't tapped into Instagram.
I was going live on Instagram as well. I was doing 3 at one time, but I'm down to 2 again.
You just playing around with to talk to 2 phones versus 3.
Yeah.
Got it. I love that. Okay, so talk to me about how did you figure it out? Like, how did you? Because it's like, oh, I'm going to go live, but then people always ask, well, like, how do you know what to talk about? How did you figure that out? What was your like thing that you're like, or did you test out different conversations?
Yeah, you know what? It's within my niche. It's what I love to do and what I love to talk about, right? Like you had said before, holistic medicine, natural health, natural medicine. I love talking about health and wellness, and that's just my thing. Protein, being a health coach, and I go on and I give back. Everybody wants something for free, right? So I give back. I give you free education, something that within my niche that I love talking about. It's got to be something that I love. That's why it's so important to choose your niche, because you're going to be doing it every day. You got to love it. I mean, I love talking about, I geek out, I have my associates in applied health science. I'm a health major. I geek out on learning how different supplements work in the body. I learn about protein, right? So I talk about people and eating more protein and what it does for your body when you eat more protein, right? Of course, I love collagen. I love specific supplements. And I talk about how collagen works in the body. I geek out on it. So I give free education. People want something for free. I've built a community by giving free education, and people absolutely love it.
Do you, when you do your lives, do you talk about the same things, or do you have like 5 topics? Like what's your mindset there?
So right now I do mix it up, but I generally talk about the same thing and switch it up a little bit. Right. So sometimes I actually like to put a picture on my, like there's a little box, you can actually add a photo to your live. So it's sitting up there in a still photo. And sometimes I'll put, here are some really great high protein snack ideas. And I'll point to it during my live. It will catch people's attention because they'll be like, what is that graphic she's got up there? Yeah. The next day I'll talk about something.
TikTok?
You can do it on Facebook, TikTok, you can't do that on TikTok right now. So it is added on to my Facebook live. So
Got it.
right
That's so
now
cool.
on
I didn't even know that.
TikTok, you can do a green screen on TikTok if you
Got
wanted
it.
to,
Got it.
but it just gets complicated and all the things. But you could if
So
you
you
wanted
mix
to.
it up, but it's a lot
Yep.
of it's like holistic
Yep.
options, holistic
Yes.
advice, like avoiding drugs and all these other right surgeries, like all. So it's like all like nutrition and collagen and all that, but like three different topics you kind of mix in.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
I love that.
Yep. Yep. And I will invite people into my community at the end, right? I've got a
So that's
group
your
that
freebie is join
I've
my.
created. Yep, a freebie.
Got
I've
it.
got a free protein guide. I've got a free meal plan. Like these are freebies that I've created. I'm going to give this to you, hit that follow button, send me a message, and just giving back to people like, hey, this is what I have for you. And just
Right.
giving this free value.
Do you get a lot of people also like messaging you or leaving comments or like thanking you?
Yeah, all the time. It fills my heart every day. I get somebody, more than one usually, like, Lauren, I love your content. Like, I am so glad I found you. Like, thank you. Like, you've helped me so much. And I get it all the time. And it fills my heart.
And
I love it.
the reason I want to point that out because I know people will watch this and go, oh, there's so many people that already teach health and wellness,
Mhm.
but you have your own unique voice, personality, perspective, story. A lot of us don't get that, right? I mean, how many people just within our organization do what you do?
Mhm.
A lot
Mhm.
of them talk collagen, anti-aging advice, holistic, nurse practitioners, nutritionalists, right? Or maybe they have none of that background, but they lost like 30 pounds on the products and they just tell their story, but they all have their own way of doing it, right? The
Yep.
way you show up is different than Ashley, and it's different than
Yep.
Kayla, and it's different than Cindy, and it's different than Michelle, and some of these other people that I've interviewed before. But the overall theme, guys, is that they're going live. They're telling their story. They're not talking about a bunch of different random topics. Now, if you want to do that in the beginning, that's fine because that's how you figure it out, right? But
Mhm.
once you start getting those thank yous, those
Yeah.
follows, how about this? People start asking you questions. Does that help you with your content also, Lauren?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. People ask questions and I make a video out of it. I make
Great.
a video out of it all the time. All the time. I put in the box their little comment, their question. I point to it and I start my video like, this is a great question. And I just answer it in my video.
That's actually another good question. How are you creating your short form videos? Are a lot of them the same or are they like answering questions? Do you mix it up? What's your mindset there with the short videos?
Yeah. Oh no. I always mix it up. Mix it
Good.
up. Yeah.
So
I
that's
make
kind
sure I do a
of so you mix up the short
yeah,
form, but the lives are a lot of the same stuff. I love that.
similar. Right.
Right.
Yep. Yep. I make sure I do a certain amount on TikTok every day and a certain amount over on Facebook and Instagram. Algorithms are a little different on each
Mhm.
platform. So, you gotta kind of you'll learn how the platforms work with algorithms and, all the things, because they're all pretty different in how they work. But consistency is key. I mean, you need to show up, obviously. You need to do the work. And, it's work, but the consistency, it'll pay off.
Can you tell me though, realistically, how much time now that you have it dialed in, right?
Mm.
Now that you got like a system in place, kids are in school,
Yep.
they're at school, right? Now summer might be a little bit different, right? But talk about how much time realistically, now that you have like a formula,
Yep.
what amount of time do you think it takes you like per day to do all that?
Yeah, I've got it down. Like I get home from dropping the kids off at school, run my errands, I go to the gym every single morning. I come home around 10:30. I create content. I make sure that my content creating, my actual video making is at least no more than between 1 to 2 hours, and that's it. Then I've got to edit the videos and work on all my other stuff. But I've got it down where I'm like, okay, this is my time spent creating my content because I'm doing it every single day. I don't want to get burnt out.
Right.
Burnout is really easy in this business. And I've kind of come to the point where by the time my kids are home from school, my content has got to be created and done. I can't be making videos with kids screaming in the background. So I'd say about between 1 to 2 hours every day, just with my videos. And then the next 1 or 2 hours before they're home, finishing up all the other stuff. So I'd say anywhere between, I'm on my phone in between the rest of the night here and there. But I'd say a good, with everything, between 2 to 4 hours.
And you get a workout done.
Oh yeah, I get to go to the gym every single morning.
Right.
If my girlfriend calls me for lunch, oh yeah, I'll take a break. I'll go to lunch.
But that's what's beautiful. Like sometimes people think like, oh, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Now, granted, some of you might even say 1 to 2 hours is a lot because your schedules are that crazy. You got a full-time job, kids, whatever. But Lauren also has a following of like 1 million people between multiple platforms. And, she's got a lot more going on. But in the beginning, it doesn't have to take that much time. You're probably not going to do a live video for 30 minutes. I would
Yeah.
challenge those of you that are like in your head about the lives, just do a 5-minute live video. Just go
Yeah.
live for 5 minutes because you're not going to have a lot of people watching you anyway, right? We
Yeah.
all start somewhere. How long were your videos in the beginning? Do you remember?
Oh no, they weren't as long. Even 30 minutes isn't even that long. Like I could go
No,
longer, but it just
no,
worked
flies
within my
by.
day. The biggest thing is I'm a dental hygienist, right? I left my full-time dental hygiene world to do this full time. But when I was a dental hygienist, I was still doing this and I made it work. So I had a 9 to 5. I would sit in my car at lunch and make a video on my lunch break. I would come home from work and I would just make a quick video. I'd go live in the evening after the kids fell asleep. It still worked as a dental hygienist. It just looked a little different because it wasn't my full-time thing.
Yeah. No, but it's such a good point, right? It's like in the beginning, people think it's got to be this like they go, I got to be all in or nothing or all or not. It's like, that's not how it works.
Mhm.
I'm either going to be a bodybuilder and work out like Arnold Schwarzenegger 3 to 4 hours a day and eat all day and have this regimen, or I'm not going to work out at all. Like that doesn't even make sense,
Mhm.
right? Go for a walk for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You start somewhere, right? That's like a working out mindset to
Mhm.
have. Like start eating healthier, drinking more water, doing these different things. Same thing in your business. You don't have to go live in the beginning. Just start doing that. In fact, most of you can't even go live on TikTok because you don't have enough followers in the beginning. Maybe do the follow train, right? That's so
Mhm.
but you start creating those short little videos and you kind of get the hang of it. It's a little overwhelming at first because you gotta, all the buttons and the editing and whatever. But once you get the hang of it,
Yeah.
it's like you could batch create content. You could spend one day creating 6, 7, 8
Yeah.
videos a week, right? And the best part about short form videos, like the video I posted today, that's a video I already posted in the
Mhm.
past. Pretty good. So we
Yeah.
posted it again today. Now, whether it does well or not is not as relevant as the fact that, like, once you create these videos, you can use them again and again for reels, for TikTok, for
Yeah.
stories. Like, it's a beautiful thing once you figure that out. And I'd like to ask you this: how long did it take before things started? Because it's only been a year, which is so
Yeah.
crazy. Like, literally, someone could be watching this with a couple hundred followers, and a year from now, I could be interviewing them, having
Mhm.
them share their story like you are right now. But how long did it take? Because I know you kind of have the background, so that does maybe give you an advantage to get it going faster, right? Whatever that definition of faster is. But how long was it before you kind of felt like, not about the leads and the following, but you felt like pretty good about like, this is the direction I'm going in?
Yeah. I would say it took me a good 6 to 8 months, but
Wow.
even now, I'm still pan ironing it all out. Every day I'm learning something new, like, wow, this is going to be easier. I'm going to switch this around. Wow, you're always learning and growing.
Right.
And it comes with being consistent and seeing what works. Every day it changes every day.
No, but I think it's important for people to hear that because a lot of times when I ask that question, it's always typically in that 6 month range where
Yeah.
like doing videos every day for 6 months, I'm kind of sucked. And then just a couple things click,
Yeah.
get a couple good responses, maybe a
Mhm.
couple videos pop off. How many of us drop it to the comments? We can't see the comments right now, but we'll check them afterwards. But how many of us had that same experience
Yeah.
where like it was like 6 months later, right? 8 months later of doing the video, and all of a sudden one goes viral. One pops
Mhm.
off like,
Yeah.
we should talk about that more often because it's
Yep. Yep.
the other thing. People will say, well, you guys talk about a lot of the same stuff. Yeah, but sure. But at the same time, you're getting in front of a new audience all the time,
Mhm.
right? How many
Mhm.
followers did I say you had in like 90 minutes or in the last 24 hours? Like 8,000 new followers since
Mhm.
yesterday on Facebook. Those are
Yeah.
8,000 people that didn't maybe see the videos you did the last year. They saw
Right.
videos in the last 24 hours.
Mhm. Yep. Yep.
So I love it. What else would you recommend for people that want to start converting? Any like
Yeah.
versions? Like, do you project broadcast? Are you having them message you on Insta? Are you having them like what's your mindset there?
Uh, you know, creating creating that freebie, right? Giving something back Of course, people are watching you because you have some type of value. You're actually attracting them with something for free, right? It could be, it doesn't have to be health and wellness. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing. You know, if you're into knitting or you're into sewing, there's people, thousands of people that love to knit and sew, right? Uh, Interior design, whatever it is, give back and create some type of a freebie. You know, I love fitness, so I'll make like a quick little fitness video at the gym, like, you know, things like that, and just staying consistent with it and just giving back. You're going to grow. You're going to grow your following. You know, as far as leads, I always say, you know, hit that follow button and send me a message. I have a link in my bio. I have, you know, try to get a link in your bio, like something where they can connect with you, where you can give them a call to action. You know, you need a call to action and somewhere for them to go to find you afterwards, whether or not it's in your messenger, by email, the link in your bio, whatever it is. And I do have project broadcasts as well, yes. But yeah, always have a call to action and somewhere for them to connect with you.
Is TikTok better than it used to be with people messaging? Do you find?
TikTok is the hardest platform to talk to people, to connect with people. It really is. It's people can message you, but you're unable to leave links or phone numbers. If they find out that you're trying to get people off the platform, you will get in trouble. You cannot say link in bio. Like,
But how do
it's,
you do it? What do you do then?
you know, I just let I put link in bio and I put a B exclamation mark 0. And I put the little icon link
Yeah.
photo link. So there's ways to get around it, but it's not easy,
It
right?
is
And
weird though that they allow the link in the bio, but then they
but
don't
you
want you
can't say it.
right.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
You might get away with it for a little while, but
yeah.
TikTok's very touchy. Instagram, not as much. Facebook, not as much. You could do those things on Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to say you got to still take your time. You can't like mass send people messages or you will get put in jail. But you just, again, this is another learning curve.
Yeah.
I've been put in jail. I've been in Facebook jail. I've been in TikTok jail. I'm sure we all have. You'll learn what you're
You're
allowed and
not
not
really
allowed to
doing
do.
much until you've been put in jail
Yeah.
or warned, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, don't do this anymore. You're like, do what? Be social on your social
Yeah.
media app?
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
so dumb.
Nope.
But
10,
this is
10 messages at a time. 10 messages. That's it.
yeah.
Stop.
And then, I do love TikTok because you tell me, but where do you get most of your leads from? Facebook or TikTok?
Right now, that's hard to say with everything else that I do. TikTok shop, that's another story. But I'm going to say with more of my health and wellness and what I'm doing here, Facebook.
Nice. It
Yeah.
does seem like Facebook is actually becoming
Yeah.
as beneficial for lead gen purposes.
Yeah.
TikTok,
It's
like
easier to connect with people on Facebook too.
oh,
It's much more
exactly.
personal. You can voice memo people. You can't do that on TikTok. You can leave links. You can like it's just like I love voice memo. It's so personal,
Yeah.
you know?
You can ATM them. You can put them in group
Yep.
chat, friend
Yep.
request them. You can
Yes. You
tell
can put them in a
them.
group. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, like on TikTok, and maybe this has changed, but I'm pretty sure it's the same. And Instagram's the same problem. Like they can have like a profile, like no face,
Yeah.
it just they could be like, at whatever, like a
Yeah.
weird name. Like what I love about Facebook is you have to have a name. You
Yeah.
have to like if I get a friend request from someone and they have no mutual friends and
Mhm.
it looks or they have any engagement, I'm like, that's probably a scammer. Or
Yeah.
it is a lot easier when you get on Facebook to identify real people, real followers. You can connect, like you said, a lot easier, right?
Mhm.
You can, the thing about TikTok, it's all video. So people don't create TikTok videos, they have no videos, they have no
Yeah.
content, right? It is, and it's interesting too, because I still feel like in general, people are mostly building a following faster, or it's easier to get attention
Mhm.
on TikTok,
Yeah.
but Facebook is becoming
Yes.
almost as beneficial for people that are creating the content. They're going live, doing the reels, doing all the things. And again, you can easily get them in your community,
Yeah.
ATM, group chats. It's so
Yeah.
much better. There's still some weirdness there too. Facebook can sometimes, put you in Facebook jail and different. I mean, Michelle just had her account shut down completely. She thought she lost it. They gave it back the next day. Thank God. So there are risks, guys. There's
Yeah.
nothing guaranteed, right? All of these platforms, for the most part, At any given time, they can, I mean, TikTok might get shut down. We don't know,
Yep.
right? At any given time, they can shut down your account. They can go away. But this is why we also encourage generating leads and building your
Yes.
own community. When did you guys start doing that? I think you and Ashley partnered together on a community, right? A Facebook group?
Yeah. Yeah. So the community, we have a health and wellness group on Facebook. Yes. Yes.
Smart.
Get people into a group, get
Yes.
people into I don't know if you have an email list. I do a phone, I rather do a phone list than an email list personally, but I know people that get their emails, get their phone numbers. You guys, Facebook, we've experienced twice in the past, 2 years, Facebook shutting down for whether or not it was an hour or 5 hours.
Yeah,
Everyone
right.
went crazy. We know what's going on with TikTok in the world today, right? Don't need to mention that. They could be gone. So we need to like own people's information, their phone numbers, their emails, because social media shuts down, right?
And even if they don't get shut down, it's just a better way to communicate with
Yes.
people. I mean, at the end of the
Oh
day,
yeah, I
they
use
don't
it all the time.
yeah, if they don't
Yep.
see your video or the algorithm changes and they're following you, but they don't see your stuff. I mean, how many of us follow people that you forgot you followed,
And it's
right?
more personal.
Yes, yes. Having that
Yep.
individual ability to reach out, to message. And I think the biggest thing, and this is what I know you do, I know Ashley's doing it, I know Michelle's doing it, is that, and you mentioned it, is that personal connection. You
Mhm.
can't, the problem I see with a lot of these, these gurus these days, and this has been a problem for years now, it's not like a new thing, it's been going on for years, is a lot of these people, they want to automate everything.
Mhm.
Automation sounds so sexy, right? It's like,
Mhm.
lead gen and funnels and all this nonsense that doesn't look, you might enroll customers that way, but they won't stick. They
Mhm.
won't stick like someone you add to a community and you have a personal
Right.
conversation with. Retention isn't just, well, if your products are good, people will buy them every month.
Yeah.
Those people are liars. Because if that was true, why would they even pay us?
Yeah.
It's relationship marketing. It's
Exactly.
There's a reason they compensate us. If they could just get and keep customers without Lauren and myself, they would just do that, right?
Mhm.
It's that relationship. It's that know, like, trust. And this is why Lauren mentioned it. You got to work hard to build up that
Yep.
credibility. But once you do, Lauren never has to worry about finding people.
Mhm.
Yeah. Where am I going to get my next recruit from? Where am I going to get my next customer? She has
Yeah.
unlimited. At this point, she's at a point in her business with her brand, and it's only been a year. It's crazy. But
Mhm.
a year, she now never has to worry about where am I going to find my next customer? Where am I going to find my next lead? Right. So I think that's just such a beautiful thing. But that Facebook community, and when did you guys start that?
Oh man, it hasn't been that long. It hasn't even been 6 months.
How many people?
We have over 10,000 right now. Hasn't even been 6 months.
So this is the other thing too, right? You use social media. Gary Vee talks about this to build width. But then it's like, how can I get them from just being a follower and a casual listener or a
Mhm.
watcher, right, into like, a stalker, a
Yeah.
fan. Like they want to like really get plugged in. So
Mhm.
she these hundreds of thousands of followers, and now she's built this community along with Ashley, right? And their
Mhm.
team in this group with 10,000 people that they can build that
Yep.
deeper connection. So having a freebie, having
Yep.
that consistency, on the front end, and then on the back end, you're making those connections.
Yep.
And I would assume that's a big reason you're recruiting 8 to 9 people in the last week. That's why your sales have been consistent. Do you have any
Mhm.
idea how to track this? But do you track how many like new customers and leads you have coming in on a weekly or monthly basis?
I don't have those numbers in my head. I look at my numbers every day, but I don't I don't have those numbers in my head right now. But yeah, I mean, I'm bringing new customers in every day.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
think you do about 20,000 a month in sales,
Yeah.
which is
I'm a little over 15 right now, so I'd say this month probably 20 something. Yeah.
so let's just say, between repeat orders and new customers, you probably have anywhere from 150 to 200 customers give or
Mhm.
take a month
Yep.
ordering. That's in guys. I need you to really think about this. Imagine if you had like 10 people in your team doing 20,000. That's
Mhm.
200,000 in billing volume. If you can teach people how to, now this is an advanced strategy. So if you're like, John, you're like blowing my mind, like Lauren, great stuff, but I just got started last week. Chill. All right. When you're in your first 90 days, just follow the simple cookie cutter
Yep.
system that your upline has in place. But let's say 90 days from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, you're feeling that, let's say a plateau, right, in
Mhm.
your business. You're kind of like running out of people to talk to, whether it's 90 days, 9 weeks, 9 months. I don't know. It depends on the person, right? Depends
Yeah.
on your sphere of influence when getting started. Some of you are going to go, I need to start doing this today because my warm market sucks. Cool. But again, Lauren had to build it up over time. But look at what she's accomplished in just 1 year. A
Yeah.
million people are now following her. And now she's, like she said, she's still learning how to like connect with those people, turn them into like, you know, an actual, go from a follower to a lead,
Yeah.
to a prospect, to a customer, to a partner, to a leader. Like this is what it's all about. And because she learned how to build a customer base, which this is my favorite part, when you learn how to build a following, build a customer base, now the people she's enrolling that are partnering with her, they can learn that from her. There's nothing better than having a mentor that literally isn't just talking the talk, they're walking the walk. And that's what Lauren's accomplishing because she's done both the front end content creation, lead gen, build a community. And now she just like literally, I think it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, she goes, I think I'm gonna start recruiting. And boom, 8, 9 new recruits in the last week. Y'all, who's fired up for this conversation? Smash that heart button if you love this. Lauren, any other tips before we wrap this up?
You know, just keep giving back, staying consistent. You know, like I said, that less than a year ago, I said to myself, I'm going to do this. And I've enjoyed every day of doing it. And I just grew from it. I watched people like Ashley. I watched people who were succeeding in doing what I wanted to do. And I asked them, what are you doing? You know, don't be afraid to ask these people, hey, I follow you. I'm looking up to you. I'm peeping in on you. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I just did what Ashley said she was doing. And I'm like, I'm going to do that. And I still follow people that are succeeding. And I'm like, what is she doing?
Yep.
So that is.
Can we just point that out though? That was probably the best tip. There's always someone doing better than you.
Yep.
So someone looks up to you right now, go, Lauren has 1 million people, but she's still learning. She's still
Mhm.
following people that have
Yes.
times more followers. They have, and you know what, by the way, it doesn't matter how many followers you have if you're not converting, right?
Mhm.
If you're not converting and you're not building those communities, those relationships, those connections, none of the rest of this. I mean, I know people that have 10 times more followers than me, 100 times more followers than me. They don't make nearly what I make, right?
Mhm.
So there is more to it than just building a following. But
Yeah.
if you build that following, build that credibility and get attention, the
Yeah.
rest will fall into place, right?
For
So
sure.
I think what you've accomplished in a year is literally mind-boggling. And I certainly hope that when you go to this leadership conference next week, like you need to like let Todd know. I don't know if some of these guys know, because that's a great testimonial. You went to the leader conference, connected with a sideline sister.
Mhm.
Now you two are running a group together. You're both absolutely crushing it. I mean, out of 20,000 people, I think you and Ashley both are probably somewhere in the top 5 in
Mhm.
both recruiting and selling
Mhm.
the sales, side of the plan and the recruiting side of the plan out of
Yeah.
20,000 people. So clearly what you're doing is working. So
Mhm.
congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing. And you know what? You don't have to have 1 million followers. You don't even have to have 100,000 or 10,000. You can still be successful with the 5,000 or 10,000. It's what you're giving out, right?
Right.
Don't think that you have to have this many followers because you can still be. I know people who are more successful than me that have half the followers I do.
And actually, even so, I mean, I know people that have no following on social media. They kill it in network
Yeah.
marketing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, these days, it is kind of a no-brainer to figure out a way to get attention on social. You're kind of like, I mean, I always say if you hate money, don't leverage social media, right? Don't put
Mhm.
out content.
Yeah.
You can just consume other people's content. Go ahead,
Mhm.
right? Probably makes more sense to create your own.
Yeah.
Stop being an
Yeah.
extra in your own movie. Don't be lazy and sleepy like Brady.
So cute.
Anyway, Lauren, I appreciate you. You're crushing it. Congrats on all your success. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
your tips. Now, I want those of you that are watching right now to drop into the comments and what is going to be the number. First of all, what's your number one takeaway? Number two, what is the first thing you are going to implement from this conversation? Let's hear it in the comments. Smash that heart button if you loved it. If you really loved it, smash the share button. And again, Lauren, appreciate you being available. You rock.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.
Awesome.
Happy
Bye.
Monday. Let's crush.